this is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
With no fees or minimums on checking accounts, it's no wonder the Capital One bank guy is so passionate about banking with Capital One. If he were here, he wouldn't just tell you about no fees or minimums. He'd also talk about how most Capital One cafes are open 7 days a week to assist with your banking needs. Yep, even on weekends. It's pretty much all he talks about, in a good way. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank. Capital One, N.A., member FDIC.
Hi, Kyle. Could you draw up a quick document with the basic business plan? Just one page, as a Google Doc, and send me the link? Thanks.
Hey, just finished drawing up that quick one-page business plan for you. Here's the link.
But there was no link. There was no business plan. I hadn't programmed Kyle to be able to do that yet. I'm Evan Ratliff, here with a story of entrepreneurship in the AI age. Listen as I attempt to build a real startup run by fake people. Check out the second season of my podcast, Shell Game, on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Brought to you by the reinvented 2012 Camry. It's ready. Are you? Welcome to Stuff You Should Know from HowStuffWorks.com.
Hey, and welcome to the podcast. I'm Josh Clark. With me, as always, is Charles W. Chuck Bryant.
You can call me Rusty.
Yeah, no doubt. Chuck, this is the first time in 8 or 9 years since we've done this.
Weeks. Everyone should know.
It feels like years.
This is the first one back from my elementary school Christmas vacation.
Yeah.
It's been weeks.
Yeah, it's our first one in 2010, the future.
Yes, and I told Josh I'm having re-entry problems like I always do.
Yes.
I walked in my cube and everything looked strange, and it was like it's like the first day on the job.
Yeah, he's constipated.
Huh? Yeah, a little bit,
yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, that's what happens when you stay away for too long, and then you wake up, sit up like stiff as a board, and you're like, I have to work today.
And poop.
Yeah.
How was your good break?
Yeah, it was great. Went to the Isle of Palms in Charleston for New
how
Year's.
was that?
It was very nice. It was super cold, but it was nice.
Right.
Went to Drayton Hall.
Don't know what that is.
It's the oldest intact, preserved plantation of its kind on the eastern seaboard, as far as I know.
You know the difference between a farm and a plantation?
The plants.
I'm going to start 2010 with a fact. Plantations only grow one crop.
Is that right?
That's what I'm told.
I would have thought it had to do with the size or something.
No, one crop. Farm, many crops.
Very nice. Is farm Latin for many crops?
I think so.
There's a good fact from Mr. Charles W. Chuck Bryant.
I should quit while I'm ahead and just check out here.
Yeah, we'll give you the email address so you can say, congrats, Chuck. We'll give it to you at the end of this podcast, which happens to be on a little something called noodling.
Yes.
You may also know it as hogging, dogging, stumping.
Hand fishing.
That's yeah.
That's a popular one, actually.
That's what the city folk call it.
No, actually, I was on the YouTubes, and they were all those dudes were calling it hand fishing.
Have you ever done this?
No.
Nor have I. And it doesn't seem like a sport that will ever become real popular because it's so thoroughly terrifying.
Yes, absolutely. I would never, ever do this.
What we're talking about is, as Chuck said, hand fishing, but it goes by all sorts of colloquialisms. We called it noodling in this article on HowStuffWorks.com. And basically what it is you stick your hand into a underwater catfish nest, which they tend to nest underwater.
And you're in the water, we should point out. You're not doing this from a boat.
No. And you get the fish to bite your hand, and you pull it out, and there you've just fished.
You've just noodled.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
That's pretty much it. Of course, there's all sorts of other interesting stuff that surrounds this, which we will discuss at length starting now.
Right. You know what it reminded me of?
What?
Was, you saw the 80s Flash Gordon movie, right? Of course.
No.
Oh, come on. Sure you did.
I didn't.
You didn't see Flash Gordon?
No.
With the Queen soundtrack and all that?
No, definitely not.
Wow. Well, Timothy Dalton, in one scene, they have this, it's like a test of courage where they reach into these different holes in this big, like rock type thing, and there's a creature in there that will bite you if you stick your hand down the wrong hole. So they go down to the elbow, and then, of course, one of the guys got tagged on the wrist, and like green oozed out his wrist. That's reminded me of noodling.
Did he perish?
Oh, yeah.
Noodling reminds me of that sand monster in Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
Except, it's smaller.
Not much.
No. And actually, noodling can be deadly. There's all sorts of peril that the sport is fraught with.
Uh-huh.
Let's talk about the history of it first.
Okay. Native American and its roots, evidently.
Yeah, apparently the first time it appears in Western literature is in 1775. This
Really?
trader historian named James Adair
That's
was
right.
traveling the South, and he said, the Native Americans have this weird thing where they get in the water, and they actually apparently used like red cloth.
Oh, really?
To
Entice the fish?
go like Toro to
Right.
the catfish, and then, but then they'd use their hands to pull them out.
I imagine that the Native Americans would use kind of whatever means they could to get the fish out, and this is one of them.
Yeah.
And since catfish are so huge, this was, a prized catch.
Yeah, apparently like you said, there was all sorts of other methods used to fish among the Native Americans, including clubbing them over the head.
Yeah.
Using spears, bows and arrows.
Of course.
And I think scaring them up with torches and then just grabbing them like as they came to the surface.
Right.
So yeah.
No dynamite or rods
Not
and reels.
yet.
Right.
That occurred in the 19th century.
And they also, actually in the article, said that the Great Depression, clearly, probably in the South, it was a good time to go noodling.
Yeah, because it's totally and completely free.
Yep.
You're using nothing but your hands, your
No
body,
equipment,
and whatever gas it took to get your pickup truck to the noodling hole.
Right.
And that's about it. So yeah, isn't that interesting? I mean, I guess it was still around. But then in the Great Depression, everybody's like, we need to start this up again.
Right, and then it's passed down from father to son, although there are female noodlers.
Yeah.
Much braver women than I am.
What's that one girl's name? Misty McFarlane?
I don't know.
I
She
think
the champion?
Yeah, she's pretty good. Her father's like this well-known noodler named Rusty McFarlane, who's
okay.
a plumber / noodling philosopher.
Yeah, he was in that documentary I watched.
Yeah, I think he's a big one.
He likened plumbing to noodling, actually.
I'll bet.
And he even said the word turd. He did.
I hate that word.
It's awful.
So, Chuck,
Yes, Josh.
this is as you might imagine, a fairly rural activity.
Yeah, the rural South, and then Oklahoma is a huge noodling state.
Yeah, so is Missouri as well.
Is it?
And it's only legal in 13 states as far as we know right now.
Right, and that is up from just 8 years ago, only 4 states allowed noodling.
What, in 2001?
Uh-huh.
That's 9 years ago now, buddy.
Oh, that's right. Well,
Welcome to the future.
look at me, 20th century, man. So 13 states up from 4. That's a big increase.
Yeah, it's definitely gaining popularity thanks in part to that documentary you vaguely referred to earlier.
That's right.
What's the filmmaker's name?
The filmmaker's name is Bradley Beasley.
Nice.
And he, I believe, is called Okie Noodling, right?
Yeah.
And he really put it on the map.
Not only did he put it on the map, he established the first noodling tournament for the documentary.
Right.
So he could get better shots or whatever.
Because as it says clearly in the documentary, there ain't no noodling tournaments because no one's taking the initiative.
Nice.
That's what one of the guys said.
Well delivered.
So Brad said, hey, what a great way to end this documentary. I'll start my own noodling tournament. And that's exactly what he did.
And it's taken off from then, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so Chuck, we talked about just the generalities. You stick
Sure.
your hand in a hole.
Little history.
Let's get a little more into it, right?
Yeah, why would a catfish bite onto your hand, Josh? What's the reason?
Well, actually, the reason is that that what you're doing is you're reaching your hand into a catfish nest, where there are thousands of eggs waiting to be hatched.
Exactly.
What I find interesting is you're not catching the female. The female comes and lays the eggs, and then the male comes along, chases her off, and takes over the duty of
Guarding.
protecting the eggs.
Yeah, so that's
you're
what they're
actually
doing.
Catching males.
They're guarding when they come after your hand, and apparently how you noodle is you wiggle your fingers around to get their attention.
Which may be the reason that it's called noodling, is your fingers look like wet noodles.
That's true.
Yeah.
Although
Either
no
that-
one is quite sure.
No, they're not. It remains a mystery.
Right.
But yeah, so you stick your hand in, the catfish goes to bite you, and sometimes it'll nibble, and you can kind of get a grasp on
yeah.
it. Sometimes it'll try to swallow your entire arm.
Ideally, it sounds odd to say that, but
Right.
I think that's what you're looking for.
Either way, once your hand makes entry into the catfish's maw,
Right.
You wiggle it down as far as you can to the gills.
Yeah.
And hook the gills from the inside out. And then all of a sudden now you have a real firm grasp on that catfish.
Right.
Plus, when you have your hand in something's gills, it tends to really focus on that and freak out a little
Sure.
bit, right?
Yeah.
So then you pull it to the surface, and there you have it. You've got your catfish.
Right.
Although, as we said, this thing is kind of fraught with peril.
Yeah.
The first thing you're going to encounter is the teeth, right?
Yeah, there are. They're not super sharp, but there are lots and lots of them. And they likened it to sandpaper in the article. Actually, this is written by my good friend Debbie Ronka.
Hey,
who
is that Freak Girl?
Yeah, freakgirl.com,
Freak
and she's about the least likely person on earth that would ever write an article in Noodling.
She did a good job with it.
Well,
though.
that's the great part about our job. I'm writing about giving a facial at home, and she's writing about noodling.
Right.
We should switch articles occasionally, it seems like.
Yeah.
But anyway, Debbie wrote this, and she did a great job, and she says that it's like sandpaper on your arm, which doesn't sound too bad, but if it's really, they said they start twisting and turning once
Right.
it's on your arm, and then it can, cut you up a little bit.
Right. I read a quote from a noodler that said once they start spinning, it can rub your hide. It can plumb rub your hide to the bone. Something like that.
Right.
So yeah,
That's good.
So that's your first problem is that this catfish whose
Right.
gills you have your hand in is rubbing its sandpaper teeth all over your wrist, and that can tend to hurt. Also, some catfish can get pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, 40, 60, 80 pounds.
That's the flathead, I think. The blue cats get even bigger, upwards of 100 pounds, I believe.
Right.
So if you are in water that's, say, chin deep, it can pull you under,
Oh, yeah.
hold you under, and you are a drowned noodler.
Yeah, and in the documentary, too, there was this one of the legendary guys, Noodles. There were these, I'm not sure how this works, but these highways where the lake and the river is now over the highway. So I guess it's just poor planning or something, but these old broken roads basically in the water.
Cool.
And they will go under the asphalt to these broken asphalt to get, because that's where the prime layer is, and they will get trapped under there sometimes and die.
Yeah. Apparently, it's also something of a pastime when you're searching a lake for a drowned person. People will also noodle while they're looking for the dead person.
That's called killing two birds, my
Right,
friend.
exactly. And every once in a while, somebody who's looking for a drowned person and noodling in the meantime will end up drowning themselves.
Yeah.
And getting found.
They did this in rivers, too. I saw one guy drowned from the current sweeping him under like a beaver den.
Which is why noodling is not a sport to ever be engaged in alone.
Yes, they
You
say
always want noodling buddies.
You got to have partners, spotters.
Yeah.
Because once you bring the fish up, generally your spotter will help remove the fish from your arm and get it into the boat or on land if you're by the banks.
Right, or if the fish pulls you under,
Sure.
it's good to have a 200-pound friend to pull you back above water.
Yeah.
Also, they help barricade the way so that if the catfish tries to escape, it'll just bump into their legs or something like that.
Right. There's one funny part in the documentary where they're interviewing these two guys that are like chest deep, and there's only two dudes in the scene, and they talk about, do you ever worry about your buddy, when he's under there for a long time? And he says, well, we worry about him sometimes. When it's been a long time, that's usually when he pops right up. And as he said that, the guy comes up from underwater.
Nice.
Like you didn't even know.
No editing?
No editing. You didn't know there was a third person there, but he was noodling underfoot
Nice.
during the interview.
Right.
So
because you can drown, chin deep water is kind of dangerous.
yeah.
But, you have to go where the catfish are.
Yeah,
right?
sometimes you dive down underwater completely.
Wow.
And sometimes your head is above water.
Right. Another danger to noodling, and if you're picking up that this is kind of a dangerous sport, you're a very sharp person, and we should probably take the time to say that How Stuff Works does not recommend you try noodling alone or as an inexperienced person with other inexperienced noodlers.
I'll just say at all.
Sure. Go ahead.
At all.
Okay. You can also, every once in a while, stick your hand into a catfish nest that turns out to be a beaver's dwelling.
Yes.
Underwater snake.
Muskrats.
Muskrats.
Apparently are mean.
Snapping turtles are real bad, too. They'll take a finger off.
Yeah.
And if you encounter one of those guys, you want to take off.
Yeah.
As Ronka says, get out of there.
Right. Well, unless you're Jerry Ryder, that's kind of the legendary noodler that was on Dave Letterman. He is a big snake guy, too. So when he sees a snake, he sees that as an opportunity, not a bad thing.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
So he grabs the snake, too?
Yeah, he'll grab snakes, and he bit him a few times, and he's like, see there, I'm bleeding from these 3 spots. And that's what it felt like. He was like, just kind of like a little hypodermic needle.
Yeah.
And
Of death?
Yeah. And he said, I'll have him tamed pretty soon. So he was...
So he catches them and tames them?
Oh, that's what he said.
Wow.
He's a snake guy.
Wow, Jerry Ryder's snake circus.
Yeah, he's the toughest guy I've ever seen.
He sounds pretty tough, actually. Normally, unless you're Jerry Ryder, you don't want to put your hand in a snake hole.
No.
Because most snakes that live underwater or near the water are deadly poisonous.
Sure.
But most noodlers will tell you that they can tell a catfish nest from any other kind of nest just by feeling the outside of the nest.
Sure, experience.
The reason for that is that the opening will be sandy and clean.
Gotcha.
And pretty compact because once the male comes in and is guarding the eggs, he's just moving back and forth constantly, keeping sand and algae off of the eggs and out of the nest.
Yeah.
So the male catfish keep a pretty tidy nest, apparently.
You could not pay me any amount of money to do this, man.
I know.
I get a little weirded out. Like, I go trout fishing in the North Georgia mountains, and I'm up to my waist in beautiful, clear mountain water.
Where you can see what's going on.
And I can see what's going on, and my head is still on a pivot when I'm near the bank, because I just know I'm going to look up and like a snake's going to drop on my head. But these are like the muddy waters of these riverbanks, muddy riverbanks.
Well, yeah, that's where catfish dwell. And
No
actually,
way,
the fact
man.
that noodling has become such a popular sport, noodlers are kind of barometers of the health of a waterway, depending on how you look at it.
Oh, really?
The Army Corps of Engineers love to keep a tidy riverway,
Sure.
right? And so do most trout anglers, because you can see what you're doing, and that's where
Sure.
Trout generally live in clean water. But catfish like it murky, shady, muddy. And so but that's how a waterway is naturally. They're not naturally clean or tidy, right? So apparently the Army Corps of Engineers kind of fell asleep at the switch for a couple of decades in the 70s and maybe 80s, and basically let the Mississippi Delta go to pot.
Oh, really?
Unless you're a catfish fisherman, and then
Sure.
you're like, the catfish population came back, right?
Right.
So the fact that noodlers are finding catfish easily is an indicator of the health of the waterway, right?
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of controversy over noodling.
Yeah, we have to mention this.
Yeah, and apparently it's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
Most noodlers, like Chuck said, they're legal in southern states. It's legal in southern states and in midwestern states. It's
yeah.
a very rural activity.
Yeah.
Most city folk aren't going to go stick their hand in an underwater hole and hope a catfish bites their hand.
Right. You know why? One of the guys in the documentary addresses that.
Why?
He said because they're on golf courses.
That's excellent point. That's
Very
an excellent
valid point.
But Chuck and I are fairly citified,
Yeah.
and of course, neither one of us would ever do this.
No.
But so I think part of the reason why noodlers are kind of looked down upon by regular anglers is that it's a rural city
Yeah.
head collision, I guess you could say.
Sure, because there's plenty of city types that grab their trout boots and go out on the weekends and go trout fishing, that kind of thing.
But there's also an environmental concern, which may or may not be true.
Right, because clearly what you're doing is you're pulling out a catfish that's guarding a big stash of eggs, and many times you don't return that fish back to the water. You'll keep it and eat it
Right.
For food, because catfish is good eating.
Right.
And even when they do return these fish to the water, which they sometimes do, they, just like catch and release fishing, there's a proper way to do it. And they get beat all the heck on the shore.
Right.
So they think they might not survive from just massive injury.
Right. And like you were saying, you're removing this catfish from its role of protecting these eggs.
Right.
Which means that once that catfish is gone, all manner of predators go, I'm going to go eat me thousands of catfish
Right.
eggs. And how could that not logically
Sure.
have an impact, a huge impact on the population of the catfish?
Right.
Here's how. Because most people don't stick their hand in catfish nests in the hopes that it will bite them and they can pull it out and eat it.
Yeah. It has gained in
it's such a-
popularity, but it's still a fringe sport.
Right, we're
for sure.
talking like maybe 1,000 people across the country that do this.
Yeah.
Maybe 3,000.
That's why there's been no studies. They can't prove anything because no one wants to put any money into a noodling study.
Right. Well, I think we should study it to see if it
Sure.
does have an impact. But in the meantime, most fish and game DNR departments in the various states where it is legal are hedging their bets and are keeping the number of catches a noodler can make from May to August, which is spawning season.
Right.
It's 3 in Missouri. I think that's the average.
And that's lower than if you're just a hook and line angler.
You can get 10 in that state.
Yeah, exactly.
Per day.
Sure.
3 per day and 10 per day, depending on if you're an angler. Noodlers, of course, find this unfair, but again, there haven't been any studies, so
right.
I think 3's an arbitrary number, probably.
I wonder if anyone's ever caught a noodler.
A dead noodler, probably.
Like hooked a noodler underwater. Apparently,
there's this boy in the 19th century who went noodling, and he got held under by the catfish he caught.
Uh-huh.
But I guess his grip was so tight that like a day or so later, they found the boy and the catfish dead side by side on a sandbar.
Really?
Yeah, hand and mouth still.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
That's
what
awful.
a way to go. If you're a noodler, that is the way you die.
Well, and that's what Jerry Ryder said. He said, I'll noodle till I die unless noodling kills me. And he shouldn't have said unless. He probably meant especially if noodling kills me.
Exactly.
Should we talk about the tournament?
Yeah.
We mentioned it briefly. It is the biggest North American hand fishing tournament. I thought it was the only one, but apparently it's the one. It's the Okie Noodling Tournament. That's what it's called.
Pretty straightforward.
It's in July. It's at Bob's Pig Shop in Pauls Valley, Oklahoma. And there's prizes up to like $2,000, I think, if you win. There's different categories like fish of the day and then total catch of total poundage
Stringer?
of your 3. Yeah, stringer.
There's also natural and scuba noodling, and scuba noodling is exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah, I imagine they're frowned upon. I didn't get any
I
word
would think
on that.
so. So is gaffing, which is noodling with the hook.
Right.
Because basically you're a wuss.
Is that what that means?
Pretty much. Yeah, because you're not sticking your hand in there. You're sticking a hook in their gills and pulling them out. Number one, you're immediately doing more damage to them, I imagine. But you're not using your hand. It's hand fishing, not hook fishing.
Right. They even frown upon gloves, dude. So this is how tough these guys are.
Well, yeah, they frown upon gloves because you can't tell from touching, whether it's a snapping turtle or a muskrat or a catfish. But also they can get snagged on things underwater and keep you under. So yeah, these are tough fellas.
Yeah,
and women.
Yes, Josh. There's a DVD series even called "Girls Gone Grabbin'."
Yeah, I heard.
Or Grablin.
Grablin?
If that's a typo. It says Grablin.
No, I don't think it's a typo.
Maybe it's called Grabbling then.
And there's been some records. Apparently, every year somebody sets a new record at the Okie Noodling contest. And what's cool is these people aren't like all in the same hole. They're all over the state. As long as the fish is caught within Oklahoma,
right?
Within a 24-hour period from 7:30 p.m. on Friday to 7:30 p.m. when they're weighed on Saturday. There's a gentleman's agreement to not go into the same noodling hole that some other people are already in.
Yeah, it's like a fishing spot. Same deal.
That's pretty much it. Oh, the fish has to be live when it's weighed.
Right.
But other than that, that's pretty much it. And the most recent record was set this past July, 2009.
What are we talking
2010
here?
now.
That's right.
Future. 68.6 pounds by a guy named John Bridges. And he had a stringer, the 3 fish that you're allowed to catch in that 24-hour period.
He won that one too?
I don't know if he won that, but I don't see how he didn't, because he had another fish that he caught that was almost the same weight.
Wow.
As part of his stringer. So I imagine he won the stringer that year.
Josh, do me a favor. Close your eyes and picture a 66-pound catfish up to your elbow.
68.6.
68.6? Can you imagine that?
Don't you think I've learned by now the hard way not to close my eyes when you tell me to?
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, that's a big old catfish.
Yeah. Do you like to eat catfish?
Yeah, I'll eat it.
Yeah, okay.
Sure. I'm not that acidified.
Well, it's just,
I eat it with a nice a foie gras topping.
Of course. A Bear Blanc sauce. And
Right. Thank you, Chuck. And catfish always, that 68.6, that's huge. It's definitely not as big as they get. Every rural area has a legend of a catfish that's like 250 pounds. Did you ever see that King of the Hill where I think he was trying to catch General Sherman? No, that was The Simpsons.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was, they called it like General Sherman or something like that. It was this huge catfish, and he and Homer and Marge were on like a save our marriage retreat, and Homer sneaks out to catch the fish, and
I think I did see that one.
Hilarity ensues.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, I think it was like season 5 or something. It was
but you definitely hear the rumors like Hogzilla. It's the same thing.
Is it?
Well, you'll just hear
Where's
these
that,
rumors
Arkansas?
about like several hundred pounds.
Sounds like Arkansas.
I think it's real though. I don't know about Hogzilla, but the huge catfish definitely are.
Chuck, let's end this by mentioning that noodling is not necessarily exclusive to North America.
No, it's not, Josh.
No.
Since 1934, there's a tournament in Nigeria, or a festival, I guess you could call it.
You going to take this one?
Should I?
Sure.
The Arungu Fishing Festival. No?
Argungu.
Argungu?
That's how I take it.
That's exactly right.
Argungu. That's a difficult one.
That is.
That's why we live in Georgia.
Well, this is a 1 hour long contest, which is kind of cool.
But I think you can catch a fish any way you can, right?
Well, you can. It is hand fishing, but you can use nets. I think you can't use like hooks and poles.
Okay.
So you can use nets, and in 2008, the winning fish, you're right, Josh, was 140 pounds.
Right, and they take their hand fishing very seriously in Nigeria because they found out that the winning fisherman in 2008, Bello Yakub, they found out that he brought a dead fish from another river and said, "Oh, look what I caught," and they arrested him.
Yeah.
He was arrested for fraud in a fishing contest.
I want to know how you sneak a 140-pound fish into a river.
That's probably how he got caught. I mean, you can't do it very covertly, so somebody saw him and was like,
ratted him
Bello
out.
Yakub cheated, and they went chink chink and threw the book at him.
Those were handcuffs, by the way, just so people understand what that sound effect was all about.
So yeah, that's noodling, right?
I don't think there's anything else to add.
This wasn't too bad for our first one after 8 years.
Yeah, on a Monday morning.
Right.
Yeesh.
So if you want to learn more about noodling, you can read Debbie Ronka's riveting tale in article form by typing noodling into the handy search bar at howstuffworks.com, which of course leads us to listener mail.
Listener mail, Josh. Before we read listener mail, we're going to send a special shout out to our friend Chance and his little sister, who have had a really rough go of it over the holidays. We're not going to get all into it.
No.
But Chance did say it would really make he and his little sister's day if we said hello. And so we were saying hi and hang in there, guys. And,
and Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, Happy New Year. So, having said that, Josh, I'm going to call this We Are Frauds, and We've Been Found Out.
No.
Hey, Josh and Chuck, allegedly. I am writing you a very distressed 15-year-old boy living in northern Illinois. The reason for my distress is that after closely examining the last several podcasts, I can come to the conclusion that your podcast is a sham.
Mm-hmm.
15-year-old calling. Yeah, he's just figuring this out. The evidence for this is that after listening to one of your podcasts on healthcare, I noticed that the voice quality seemed different, leading me to believe that you two never actually sit down and do the podcast together. But the podcast is merely a series of recordings and phrases cleverly put together through some sound editing equipment.
It's really just a series of Chucks and Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Jerry just makes it all happen.
Right.
After listening to that podcast, it made me wonder, and I went through other ones and noticed that you two never skip over each other when you talk. Not true. We are talking over each other.
We are right now.
As we speak.
Yes.
To further reinforce the suspicion, I recently viewed the webcast on December 2nd, and Chuck was disappearing into the background of the drape. You know how sometimes the blue screen will mess up and I'll disappear? That's what that is, Zach. If this is just an honest technical mistake, or if this is the work of clever video and audio syncing gone wrong, please write back to confirm your existence. Until then, I have no choice but to assume there is no podcast, but merely a series of recordings played with editing equipment from Zach.
Zach, I think you would very much appreciate one of our fellow podcasts here at HowStuffWorks.com called Stuff They Don't Want You to Know. It's about conspiracy theories. I think it'd be right up your alley.
Yeah.
You can find that for free on iTunes, right, Chuck?
Uh-huh.
And, of course, you can always find us for free on iTunes, which is probably where you found us.
To begin with.
Yeah. If you want to send us an email accusing us of fraud, we wouldn't be the least bit surprised. You can wrap that up and address it to stuffpodcast at howstuffworks.com.
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit howstuffworks.com. Want more How Stuff Works? Check out our blogs on the howstuffworks.com homepage. Brought to you by the reinvented 2012 Camry. It's ready. Are you?
At CVS, it matters that we're not just in your community, but that we're part of it. It matters that we're here for you when you need us, day or night. And we want everyone to feel welcomed and rewarded. it matters that CVS is here to fill your prescriptions and here to fill your craving for a tasty and, healthy snack. At CVS, we're proud to serve your community because we believe where you get your medicine matters. So visit us at cvs.com or just come by our store. We can't wait to meet you. Store hours vary by location.
Hi, Kyle. Could you draw up a quick document with the basic business plan, just one page, as a Google Doc, and send me the link? Thanks.
Hey, just finished drawing up that quick one-page business plan for you. Here's the link.
But there was no link. There was no business plan. I hadn't programmed Kyle to be able to do that yet. I'm Evan Ratliff, here with a story of entrepreneurship in the AI age. Listen as I attempt to build a real startup run by fake people. Check out the second season of my podcast, Shell Game, on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.